So without further ado, we've got our first guest on this episode of DNB Wraps. We're going to be listening to the tracks he has on the forthcoming album on Dirtbox Recordings. That's what we're here for today. He's calling us all the way from Toronto, Canada today. I don't know where this geezer is from time to time. He's flying everywhere. Chris Cruikshank, Sicknote, how you doing, buddy?
I'm great, bro. Thanks for having me on today.
It's an early morning for you in Toronto, isn't it, Chris?
It is, mate. It is. You got me up. It's like 8 a.m.
Well, thanks for that, mate. I do appreciate it. You won't catch me if I'm not working getting up at them hours. So fair play to you, buddy. How's the weather and everything over in Toronto at the minute?
Oh, it's summertime. It's beautiful. Beautiful. You can't get better.
Coldest winters and hottest summers, isn't it, from what I remember there?
That's pretty much it, bro. Yeah.
That's it. So obviously you're not based in Toronto full time. I know you spend a lot of time there. Where are you actually from in the UK originally?
Originally, I'm from Hastings, down on the south coast.
I see. It's been a long time since I played down there. I DJ'd on Hastings Pier for HTID about 20 years ago. That's my only visit to Hastings.
You know what? That's the go-to. Every time I have a conversation with somebody that's sort of, been around for a while, and that's always, Hastings Pier, Hastings Pier. So, and I kind of missed it. So, my age, I just missed out on it. So,
fair play to you, mate. Well, it was, it was. From what I remember, they had some good parties down there. There was a lot of good drum and bass, happy hardcore, hard house. Everything was down there, weren't it?
Yeah, for drum and bass, it was sort of home to like Heat. They had the MC conventions with Skibber and Shabba down there. A lot of, like large reputable brands.
Yeah. So what year did you get into the drum and bass scene? And was there anything before that you were doing?
I started mixing originally around 2009. Just kind of got into it with a few of my friends that were kind of like the main guys for the local scene down there, and I just got into it through them. Like there were some super talented guys, and just sort of learned to mix from them, and then just naturally progressed and went on to do my own thing.
From what I remember in our chats quite early on as well, you got involved in a group with Shabba D, didn't you? And also with Bar Rage. Tell me how that came about and what you were doing with those guys.
Well, so the Bar Rage thing's a more recent thing. It's not like a crew affiliation. It's just for the label with releases and with the booking agency. But with regards to higher level with Shabba, it was just kind of I was actually promoting at the time, and you know how it is. Obviously, when you're running local shows, you bring in a couple of headliners, and I ended up working with him on with Shabba on a few shows, and I guess kind of just almost like in the same way you get scouted for like a football team, for example. Just kind of we just clicked. He obviously, just I guess he saw something in me, and I was only young back then. I was maybe like 20, and we just kind of went from there. Kept in contact. Ended up going out to New York and Toronto together. I did a couple of shows out there with him and Nicky Black Market, and I guess that was just kind of like I don't know. It's like an audition, I guess.
Yeah. Well, it is the
went out there. Yeah, kind of just went out there together. Did the shows, done well, and then just had a conversation from there. And he ended up sort of bringing me in with the the original sort of higher level lineup years ago. And we was all rolling together for a good few years and that. And then eventually, kind of just wanted to pave my own way, as well.
Yeah, it sounds like a great opportunity you had. I mean, when you see things like that, it's always good to jump on them because you never know where it's going to take you, do you? And
absolutely.
Sounds as though obviously this took you abroad. And is this where your connection started with Toronto then? Because you just mentioned it there, and I know you're there quite a lot.
Yeah, I mean, I've been playing out here since probably 2011, I would say. I've been doing pretty decent shows out here since then. And yeah, it's just always been like when I got to the point where I was regularly playing abroad, Toronto was always, sort of 2-3 times a year consistently for like years on end. And I don't know, I've just always had love for the city out here. And then when the circumstances sort of allowed me to make a move, I kind of just went with it. So I've like I said, I've got a house here and I've got one back in England. So I kind of split my time between here and Europe, but I try and spend my summer months out here now.
Fair play, mate. Yeah, I do love Toronto. I've had the pleasure of obviously playing over there a few times as well. And I think you're right, isn't it? Once you get into, if you find the right clique and the right, the right group of people and that, you'll end up going over quite a lot. And from what I gather as well and what I see, you're like me, you probably play outside of the UK more than you do in the UK as well, which I do quite a lot.
Yeah, it's I don't know. I mean, this past year, obviously, I've done some decent shows back in the UK and that, but I don't know. It's kind of in my early career, I was doing a lot, obviously, throughout the UK and that, but now I've kind of, I don't know, I've almost turned into more of like you're saying, like a touring DJ. Like like next week I'm out in Vegas, LA, New York, and Baltimore with the World of Drum and Bass, with like SS, Ragga Twins, Critical Impact, Ed Rush and Optical, and TB. So I mean, I'm not going to complain, but
No, of course. No.
It's nice to be going around, you know.
Well, I fly the flag for that as well myself. Obviously, if you think of people that have kind of championed that way of more gigs abroad than in the UK, there's artists like John B. He's obviously quite a big one who obviously pushed on that, and audio as well. You can find them all around drum and bass. But yeah, I mean, I love that aspect of it, the touring side of it, and it's hard to put your finger on it. I think maybe it's because the UK is quite oversaturated. And, if you get with the right people in obviously these different cities and countries as well, you've got friends for life there and it's not oversaturated. You're a headliner, an international name that obviously can help their brand and things like that as well. And it can go from there. That's kind of what I found with it anyway, basically.
Yeah. I mean, networking's obviously, for me, I think, in the day and age we're living in, like you're saying, with it being oversaturated, there's a million and one incredible DJs, great producers and stuff. But ultimately, like there's the saying, your network is your net worth, and that's I think that's a very fitting statement for if you want to be successful as an artist. I feel like networking is just as important as talent at this point.
100%. So obviously you're in Toronto quite a lot. Let's keep talking about that. What do you really love about Toronto then? Because like you said, you're spending your entire summers there. What is it about Toronto?
I don't really know. I don't know if it's kind of like my first international love affair, if you want to call it that. I don't know. It was just the first city that really sort of embraced me as an international artist. Like I said, I've been coming here for a long time now. And a lot of the guys that I started off playing for as promoters and that are now, like good friends of mine. A lot of, I've met people throughout my journey over here over the last 10 years or so, and it's just, I don't know, it's just a different way of life here, and I'm here for it. I mean, I enjoy it here.
So the raccoons running around the city don't really put you off.
I don't.
Fuck me up, that did.
You know what? I will get one.
Pet raccoon.
It's my mission. Mate. Get a raccoon.
When we were staying there, like they would literally just you go out in the city and they just run past your feet. Do you know what I mean? There was everything there to do with raccoons apart from raccoon crossings on the roads.
You know what? The first time I actually see one in the flesh, I went to pet it and. I didn't realise they're actually like quite savage little guys. Like my mate shouted at me, he was like, "No, don't touch him!" Like,
fucking carrying lots of disease there, mate. You'd have your arm amputated.
I could see him. I was like, "Yes." What are you saying? Like, went to reach out to him. My mate was like, "Nope."
So, and of course, Canada. They say it's one of the friendliest places on the planet. So, I can't blame you for that as well. Beautiful set. So, let's get talking about what we're here for today, then, Chris. This release on Dirtbox. So there's a track called Corner of My Mind, which we're going to play in a moment. This is one of the very few singles that is coming out on the Vibe City albums in a couple of months on Dirtbox Recordings. Obviously, this track was the standout of the two. There are two tracks on the album. We will be listening to them. So How did Corner of My Mind come about? I know we got in touch when you saw I was pitching out there for the albums, but is this quite a fresh track, or you've been sitting on this for a while?
You know what? I've had that track for probably about it's been sat there for about 18 months now. But it was just for me. It was just the first in a new direction. I mean, like, I don't know. For the UK, predominantly, I'm probably known as a jump up guy for the UK.
That's what surprised me, to be honest, when we obviously got these from you.
When I played internationally, I kind of play a bit more, across the board. But when I'm in my car and I'm driving, I love listening to a bit of Liquid. So I was like, you know what? Let's just go with something that's, make something that's something I would like to listen to. And that was just that was the back thought behind going with that.
Well, it's a great way to think about it with music, because I don't think enough DJs and producers think about this. Because what you've got to remember is when you're making music, you're making it for listeners. Yeah, you're making it for DJs, but they are less than 1% of the people that are going to grab your music at the end of the day. Do you know what I mean? So it's a great thought process there. But listen, let's get straight into the track. Let's have an exclusive premiere listen right now of Sicknote, Corner of My Mind.
Hiding in the corner of my mind, of my mind. Hey, 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 hey. Never letting go the things I hide, things I hide. Hiding in the corner of my mind, of my mind. Never letting go the things I hide.
So great track, Chris. Loving this. It's going to smash it in it. Let's be honest.
Oh, I hope so.
I know so. No, fantastic track. It hits it all, and we've got it just in time as well. We're hitting those big summer vibes. You know, let's get this in the cars. Played in Toronto and Hastings, of course, as well. But there's another track again after the single. It will be featured on the album, but we've also got the track Back to You as well.
You don't need my love. I had to stop going back to you, back to you, back to you. You say you love me when you are alone, but when you are fine, you don't need my love. I have to stop going back to you, back to you, back to you. You say you're really fine, I wanna change a thing. I can't ignore this feeling inside of me. My heart beats so fast when you walk around. You walk around, hey, hey.
So where do we come from with this? Is it a similar process of Corner of My Mind? Anything interesting to let us know about this track?
Yeah, no, just when I produced that track, it was just kind of it was just very fitting for what I was going through in my personal life at the time. And again, it was just, I was aiming for radio friendly, and again, just sort of vibes that what I'd want to listen to myself. And it was just the direction I wanted to go with. Originally, when I put them tracks over to you, I was actually looking at doing sort of like a 4-track EP for myself. And I was sort of like two-thirds of the way through doing that, and then didn't end up getting that done. So yeah, you guys picked up the two of them, and I can't remember who else took another one from me, but yeah, either way, that was the direction that I wanted to go with currently for that.
Yeah, I'm so happy we got the opportunity on these, mate. They're both absolute bangers, definitely standout tracks on the album. Are you doing a lot of the work on your own for the productions then as well? Are you working these from scratch, or are you still in a process of like learning with it?
Yeah, so I mean, I don't think you ever really stop learning as such. Obviously, I mean, like for the most part of it, like it's all completely my own work. Like samples and stuff. Obviously, like everyone pulls a little sample here and there, and like obviously, like you've got your friends in the scene that you draw a bit of inspiration from, or like constructive criticism from, but yeah, for the bulk of it, I have got a couple of collabs coming up with pretty well-known guy as well. I won't drop who yet, but it's going to take it up another level.
Excellent. Maybe off camera you can let me know what's going on.
Yeah. We can do that off camera.
So there's lots of new music in the process. Does that mean we're going to see more Liquid and maybe even more releases on Dirtbox?
So I've probably got a couple of Liquid bits that need finishing up, and then moving forward, I am going to go revisit the jump up scene again. I've got some bits in the works already that need a fair bit of attention to, but I'm just trying to. I don't ever want to be pigeonholed into being like a one-trick pony. I want to completely diversify my sound. I mean, at the end of the day, if you can be a good artist in a small pond. I mean, I want to be known in all the ponds.
Yeah, absolutely. And if anybody tells you different, you just point them to Andy C, because he's obviously the framework and the plan out for doing what you want, when you want, where you want.
The guy's the blueprint. So.
He is the blueprint. He is. So leave on one final question. I noticed you got a label in the works. What's all this about?
Yeah, do you know what? It's I just kind of felt like at the moment I've got quite a bit of momentum behind me. The bookings are flying in sort of internationally, and it was just, I guess, me just being a bit stubborn and toxic and thinking I can do it better than certain other people. I guess it's just over time and experience. Like you see how things are done, and like everyone thinks they know best at the end of the day, right? But I just I see the way that some things throughout my career have been done, by other people. And I just kind of thought it's something I'd like to turn my hand to. And I kind of just feel like I'm at a point where, I've seen enough of the good and enough of the bad that I feel like I know what direction I want to do it, like go in and how it should be done. And I've actually teamed up with a guy called Chris Harris, who's actually from out here in Toronto. Amazing audio engineer. He's got the business, more of the business brain behind him than me. And but I've got the the links and the scene knowledge. So I just feel like it's a good partnership.
That's great. That's fantastic. And I get what you're saying about that. I mean, me with the labels, it started off obviously just you're getting music sent and you just want to release more stuff. But then it got to a point where you got to process and you realize just how to make it work and treat the artist right. And you'll be privy to this in the coming weeks now that this release is coming out. You'll see what my workings are as a label owner and what I do. And I think it matters a lot, doesn't it? You know what I mean? When you see the bad, you see the good. and you want to emphasize on that. You want to give artists a better experience because there's a lot of bad
That's it. I
stuff.
mean, first and foremost, being an artist myself, I know how, I want to incorporate the sides of it. Like, like I want to do things how I'd want it to be done for me.
Exactly. Well, you know what, Chris, it's a pleasure to have you on board, mate. I'm very happy that I dropped you that DM that day, slid straight into those DMs for the liquid. That's it. And here we are today. So yeah, remember guys, these 2 tracks are going to feature on this massive album. Where can we see you next playing out, Sicknote?
I'm in Las Vegas on Wednesday.
What?
Vegas Wednesday, Los Angeles Thursday, New York Friday, and Baltimore on Saturday.
Yeah, and what stays in Vegas? What happens in Vegas stays in Vegas is what I meant to say.
I don't know. Some of it will come home with you, bro.
Great stuff. Listen, thank you for getting up extra early to speak to us today,
No
Chris.
problem, bro.
Really appreciate it. What's up, everyone? Leo HF here, the host of Yo DNB Wraps. Thank you for watching our videos. If you like what you're hearing and seeing on the channel, please make sure you're subscribing to it. Please make sure you thumbs up the videos, and more importantly, let's get some comments going as well. It really helps the channel, and in order for us to provide this content to you, we do need the channel to grow. So we can't do this without your help. Hope you enjoy the video. Speak to you soon.